Character profiles are the backbone of your character. It determines what you can do and how you can do it. I'm going to break down what's in the character profile so you can be ready to start playing Marvel Multiverse RPG. The character profile is similar to the character sheet in D&D. It contains all the important information on your character you need to play the game. This is a list of the general things on the profile that don't have anything to do with combat. More narrative things like physical descriptions and backgrounds, etc. Now, one of the most important parts of the character profile that affects most things is the character rank. Their rank determines how many ability score points they have, number of power sets they can choose from, and number of powers and traits they can have. There are powers and traits that can affect this, but we'll get into that later. Here's a list from the book that gives a basic idea of the scale of each rank and examples of heroes that'd be at that rank. Like how Daredevil would be rank 2 because he protects a neighborhood, or how Captain Marvel would be a rank 6 because she basically protects star systems. Put in the comments who your favorite superheroes are and what rank they would be. Of course, characters can move up or down ranks depending on the story, and they could get temporary power-ups or power-downs to change their ranks, but that sort of thing would be up to the player and director. Like in my first campaign with my friend. He's a rank 4, but I planned / we talked about his character learning some magic down the road, and then his rank would increase to 5 as a result. Though you could play a whole campaign and the character's rank doesn't change at all. A lot of heroes don't ever really get stronger or weaker. Their rank would just stay the same because their stories are more about how they interact with the world around them and the people around them and deal with the insanity of villains that show up. So, as I said before, it's completely up to the player and director depending on what kind of game you want to play. Next is ability scores. Melee, agility, resilience, vigilance, ego, and logic, which all conveniently spell Marvel, are what you use whenever you try to do anything. Melee mainly deals with physical things like punching or throwing. Agility deals with range damage, or ranged attacks, doing acrobatics. It also affects a character's run speed. Resilience has to do with the character's health and constitution. Vigilance is for sensing or seeing the world around you. Also affects a character's focus and initiative modifier. Ego is for psychic, magic, or elemental powers. And lastly, logic deals with telepathic powers and anything to do with complex problem solving. Ability defenses are the TN, or target number, that someone attacking the character with that ability must meet or beat to succeed. The ability defense is the ability score plus 10. Now we move on to the stats. Your health is your resilience score multiplied by 30, with a minimum score of 10, in case you have a negative resilience score. Your focus, which is used to power, powers, is like your mental strength. It's your vigilance score multiplied by 30. Karma equals your rank, but only characters with the heroic tag can get karma at the character creation. Villains and anti-heroes can earn karma, but have to spend it before the end of the day or they lose it. You spend karma after you make an action check to gain an edge on the check, which was explained in the previous video. Click here to watch. Or you can spend it to give trouble to an attacking enemy, which also was explained in the previous video. Go back 2 seconds and click it. You can't spend more than 1 karma per action check. You get all your karma back after a full night's sleep, which I assume is supposed to be 8 hours. You can tell it's make-believe because they think people get full nights of sleep. You can also spend karma to make an action check to recover health or focus. For health, you'd make a resilience check with a TN of 10, and for focus, you'd make a vigilance check with a TN of 10. On a success, add up the total and multiply it by your rank. On a fantastic success, you get double, earning karma. Some examples of how a character can earn karma. It's up to the narrator to decide if or when a character has earned karma. A character can earn more karma than they started with, but they must spend it before it resets or it'll go down to their max. Your initiative is equal to your vigilance score. If you have an E next to your initiative, it means it has an edge. There are some powers or traits that give you that. Your base run speed is 5. When they say 5, they mean spaces or squares on a playmat, and usually each square equals 5. 5. So the base run speed is 25. Saying 5 squares just makes things easier. For every 5 points of agility score your character has, you add 1, or 5 feet, to your run speed. Size can also affect run speed. The base climb, jump, and swim speeds are half the run speed. I believe they round down. Some powers can also give your character flight, glide, swing line speed, but we'll get into that when we talk about powers. Damage, which is of course a big part of combat, which will be covered in the next video, is the M.A.R.V.E.L die. times your damage multiplier, which is your rank, plus the ability score. Some powers can affect the damage multiplier, but they don't stack with each other. The ability score you use depends on the power, which we'll talk about more in a future video. Feels like I've said which too many times, so I should probably move on. The backstory of your character is covered by a few things. First is your origin. This is a brief list of them, but there are more and more specific versions of these. Most of them come with traits and tags to add to your character profile. Plus, it's possible to have more than one origin with a trait you can pick later in character creation. Just something to keep in mind. Second is occupation, or what's your character's day job when they're not being a superhero. Also comes with traits and tags. Also possible to have multiple occupations with a trait you can pick later. You can pick as many additional traits equal to your rank. So if you're rank 4, you can have 4 extra traits not gained from some other means. You can have unlimited tags because they don't have any combat effect. They're just mainly narrative things. Want to have an example on a session 0 and campaign setup? You should check out this video. Want to not miss out on any future videos on how to play / set up Marvel Multiverse RPG? Subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified anytime a new video is uploaded. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bye.